Hello, everybody. I hope you're well. It's my assembly today. We're going to be learning about something today. What I want you to do is I want you to put your thinking caps on, and I want you to, like Arbot 3, be ready, willing, and able to learn in different ways. And the way that you're going to learn today is you're going to listen, and you're going to look. And hopefully, what you're going to do is I'm just going to slide myself down so I'm out of the way a bit. You are going to make links. Okay, so you are going to listen and see if you can make links to things that you know already. And I'm anticipating there's quite a lot you know already, particularly because of the COVID virus. I think you're going to know quite a lot about this subject already. So hopefully you'll be able to make links. And when we make links with things that we know already, we actually learn things better and we know more. And they say that the more things you know, the more you can learn. It's a bit like Velcro. If you know something, when you learn something new, it can stick onto it. And so hopefully that's what's going to happen today. So this is the book I'd like to share with you. It's called Tiny. It's a bit like me at the moment. I'm a little person, don't heard about tiny. Let me go anyway. So it's called Tiny, The Invisible World of Microbes by Nicola Davis, and it's illustrated by Emily Sutton. Nicola Davis she's a great writer. She does lots of non-fiction books. So she does books about science. And I was lucky enough once to go and see her talk about the things that she does. And before she was an author, she said her best job that she ever had was tracking whales. That's right, whales, humpback whales. What an exciting job to have, because she's a trained zoologist. That's somebody who studies animals. And Emily Sutton is an illustrator, and she's illustrated lots of books. And this is one of the more recent ones she's done. So here we go. Let's get into the book. These are the end papers, and you can see that the end papers have got these little squiggly little things on them, and they are microbes. You might recognize this one. This one looks a bit like the COVID virus. It's a virus, and these things that stick out are called spike proteins. So let's get into the book. Tiny, The Invisible World of Microbes, written by Nicola Davis, illustrated by Emily Sutton. And Nicola Davis dedicated this to Joseph and Gabriel, who were tiny and grew big. I think they might be her children. And Emily Sutton, it's for Lex and Kit. Here we go. So, you know about big animals, and you know about small animals. Anyone spotted the small animal? Yeah, there it is. It's a little ant. But do you know that there are creatures so tiny that millions could fit on this ant's antenna? So tiny that we'd have to make the ant's antenna as big as a whale to show them to you. They don't have eyes, heads or legs, branches, roots or leaves, because they aren't animals or plants, but they are alive. They are microbes, and there are lots of them. A single drop of seawater can hold 20 million microbes. That's more than twice as many as the number of people in New York City. For those of you who don't know, New York City is a massive city on the east coast of the United States of America. It's a very big city. And a teaspoon of soil can have as many as 1 billion microbes. That's about the same as the number of people in the whole of India. Now, India is one of the most populous. That means it's got one of the most number of people living, a country with the most number of people living in the whole world. And in a teaspoon of soil, there's more microbes than that. Microbes live everywhere. In the sea, on land, in the soil and the air. They live in places where nothing else does, like volcanoes or inside rocks or at the back of your fridge. And also on the outside and inside of plants and animals. Right now there are microbes living on your skin, and there are more of those living on your skin than there are people on the earth. And there are 10 or even 100 times as many as that in your tummy. But don't worry. Although microbes make you sick, the ones that live in you and on you all the time, they help to keep you well. So there's good microbes, and there's microbes that can make you feel poorly. That's mad though, isn't it? On our skin, there's more microbes than there are people living on the earth, and there's about 7 billion people living on the earth. And even though they are small, they are not all the same. Some are tinier than others, as different in size as ants and whales. There are lots of different kinds, more than there are different kinds of animals and plants. And here we've got two. We've got the poliovirus, which is one of the smallest microbes there. And we've got that compared to a paramecium, and that's one of the biggest microbes. And when you go to secondary school, you'll learn quite a lot about parameciums. Some microbes are round, some are skinny, some have wiggling tails, some look like daisies. Some look like shells, some are squishy, some look like spaceships, and some look like necklaces. They can eat anything. Plants, animals, alive or dead, even oil and rocks. So they just soak up what they need through their skin. That's why the things microbes eat don't disappear in bites. They change slowly into something else. Food, for example, if you put it in the compost heap, turns into compost, and that's because it's been broken down by microbes. Milk turns into yogurt, and a microbe does that. Rocks into soil. Microbes do that. And when microbes are well fed, they are really, really good at making more microbes. They simply split so that where there was 1, 20 minutes later there are 2, and then 4, and then 8, and then 16, starting with just one microbe, which of course would be far too small for you to see, one called E. coli, for example. It would take 11.5 hours for there to be enough to fill this space, and then 20 minutes later, they would all split and double to fill this space. They're very, very good at reproducing. That's why it only takes a few of the wrong kind of microbes, and we call them germs, to get into your body to make you sick. And here you can see a mosquito, and a mosquito will bite you in some certain parts of the world, mainly in the tropics, and you can get a disease called malaria, and that's caused by a microbe. So they get in through your mouth, or through a cut, or sometimes through an insect bite. Then inside you, where they are warm and well fed, they split and split and split until just a few germs have turned into 1,000, then millions, giving you a cold or a flu or something worse. So it's best to stop them getting in. Luckily, only a few kind of microbes can make humans sick. Most microbes are busy doing other things. And here we can see people washing their hands, and that's something that we've been doing so much recently to make sure that we don't pass on a microbe, the COVID virus. And because microbes are good at making more microbes, some of the things they do are very, very big. They can wear down mountains and build up cliffs. They can stain the sea red, turn the sky cloudy, and make snowflakes grow. They recycle everything that dies to make soil so new life can sprout, and they help to make our air good to breathe. All over the earth, all the time, tiny microbes are eating and eating, splitting and splitting, changing one thing into another. They are the invisible transformers of our world, the tiniest lives doing the biggest jobs. And that's the M Papers. And that's the book. Now, at the beginning, I said that, you learn by listening and you learn by watching and looking. Hopefully what you did as well is that you had some knowledge already about these sorts of things, maybe not too much. And what you've done is you've learned some other bits now, and what they'll be doing is that they'll be sticking onto the knowledge that you have already, because knowledge is sticky, and when you learn new things, the bits of knowledge can stick to each other. And obviously you know about microbes because you know about the COVID virus and what we've been doing in school to prevent the spread of it by washing our hands, making sure that we don't get too close to people. And grown-ups have been wearing masks around the school so that if we do have something, we don't pass it on. So we take all these measures, and it's good to hear, though, that microbes aren't just bad things, that they are good things, and they do lots of amazing things in the world. And as they said, that you've got microbes in your stomach, and those microbes help break down food, make it possible for you to use that food to power your body, to keep your body going. Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed today's assembly. A bit of knowledge, and you've been like Arbot 3. You've been resourceful. You've used something that you know already, and hopefully you've got some new knowledge and it's stuck to it. Who knows? Anyway, I'm going to be off. Take lots of care. I'll see you around school. Bye. Bye, 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 bye. I'm a microbe. I'm so small you can't see me. Bye.